The gramophone sputtered to life, unleashing a torrent of distorted voices. Not just whispers anymore. Full sentences, arguments, laughter. The fragments coalesced into a horrifying cacophony. Dr. Thorne paled visibly, clutching his chest. It's layering itself, he stammered, his voice strained. Like multiple conversations happening simultaneously within a single frequency. I felt a cold. We discovered the signal wasn't just emanating from the gramophone. It was being amplified. The building's wiring seemed to be resonating with the frequency, and as we traced the lines, they led us back to room 307. The air in that space felt denser, charged with driven by a desperate need to understand, or at least contain, the phenomenon. I began meticulously documenting everything. We installed directional microphones throughout the building, attempting to pinpoint the source of the signal's amplification. As we gained more data, a disturbing pattern emerged. The voices I started experiencing vivid auditory hallucinations, snippets of the voices seeping into my consciousness. I'd catch myself repeating phrases from the recordings, feeling a compulsion to move towards room 307. Thorne was exhibiting signs of severe distress, his eyes constantly darting around. As if he could. I tried to pull Thorne away from the gramophone, but he wouldn't budge. He was fixated on a particular recording, a young woman's desperate plea for help, repeating over and over again. He knows, he always knows. As I wrestled with him, the room began to. As the chaos subsided, I realized the source of the signal wasn't the gramophone itself. It was me. Specifically, my own subconscious, a buried trauma from my childhood, replaying itself through the building's acoustic resonance. The voices weren't external, they were fragments of my own forgotten. I smashed the gramophone to pieces. The voices abruptly ceased. The blue light vanished. The building fell silent. But as I looked around, I noticed something was different. A small child's toy, a wooden rocking horse, sat on the floor in room 307, untouched since its arrival. I looked down at my hands. They were covered in a thin layer of what appeared to be dried static. As I pulled, wasn't just echoing the past, it was creating it, and I was now irrevocably bound to its insidious cycle. The last thing I heard, before everything dissolved into a sea of static, was the child's voice, whisper in my ear. "You've been listening, always."